Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about HTTP cookies. In my previous videos, I have discussed about HTTP headers, HTTP status code, and also different HTTP methods. And those are also very important. And if you are learning a lot from my videos, do not forget to like this video, like all the videos that you have seen, and also subscribe to my channel. So let's start learning about HTTP cookies in this video. So HTTP protocol is stateless. So this I have mentioned before also. So when I was going through overview of HTTP in one of my video, I told that HTTP protocol is stateless. That means it does not store any state about the user visits. So whenever you are visiting any website, the HTTP, since it is a stateless protocol, the server by default will not store any information about you, like when you visited or from where you visited. It will not store any information like this on the server. But sometimes it becomes very important for the website to store some data about the users. So let's discuss about some of the useful, why it becomes useful to identify users. Like one use case is, let's say website wants to restrict some user. In that case, of course, first it needs to know which user has visited the website. For that, it needs to store information regarding all the users. Also, let's say like there are many websites which serve content based on users. Take example of ads. So you would have typically seen ads are typically based on your past search and like what past things you have bought and everything. Like so, for that also, for tracking that also, it becomes important for the website to store some information. So to store information about the user, HTTP uses cookies. So a cookie is a small piece of data stored on user's computer by web browser. So in your web browser, typically this cookie information is stored, and we will see how this information looks like in some time. And cookies also allows a website to track users. So this is very important. Like through the help of cookies, website can track you, like how much time you have spent on the website, when was the last time you visited the website, what all pages you visited on the website. So through the help of cookies, they can track that also. Now we will look at how HTTP cookie actually works, like how the client and browser interaction happens when they are negotiating on the cookies. So there are four important components of cookie. Like this is very important. There is a cookie header line in HTTP response message. So let's say if if the web server wants to track the user, it will set up a header in the response. Also, a cookie header line is there in the HTTP request message also. A cookie file kept on user's end system and managed by the browser. So there is a file that is managed by the browser where all the cookie information are stored. A backend database at the website that stores mapping. See, there is one like a file on the browser also that stores the cookies. There is one more database at the server side also where these all the cookies kind of, if you see like which user is associated with this cookie, like they can store that there. And also like they can information all the data related to that cookie there in the web server itself, on that is in the web server database that is there. So let's say you are visiting youtube.com for the first time in your browser. In that case, what you will see, this is the response header from the YouTube web server. So you will notice like cookies there, like this set cookie header. So in the response, there will be set cookie headers also, like here are three of them. And in each of them, if you see, there is a kind of cookie here. This is in the form of key and value, like YSC is a key, and this S4, SY, this is kind of value here. Again, domain name is also there, like from which web server this cookie is associated, that is youtube.com here. Path is there, and there are some other information also. There is another cookie also called visitor info one underscore live. There is again a value associated with this, and which is a domain name that is managing this cookie, youtube.com. The third one is also there, consent equal to WP something, right? And also there is another important thing, like when this expires actually. So for the first one, there is no expiry date. For the second one, if you see, there is expiry date, expires Friday 25 June 2021. And for the third one also, there is expire Friday 2038. Like so, when the web server like sends these cookies in the response headers, then what will happen? The browser will save all these cookies, like whatever cookies are there associated with youtube.com. It will save all of this, like MySQL, this one and this one and this one, all the three in the browser itself. Like there is a file in the browser itself associated with the browser. It will store all the cookies there associated with youtube.com. Now, let's say you make the youtube.com request again for the second time. Let's say again, if you make, then you will see that in the request headers, you will see a header called cookie here. And the browser is sending all the cookie that is associated with the youtube.com. Of course, these three cookies were set up by, this were sent by the youtube.com server, and browser has already stored this in the file. Now, when you visit youtube.com for a second time, then what will happen? The browser will also send these cookies along with the response, if you see. So these are request headers, and cookie is one of the header here, and all the kind of three cookies are, if you see, are here in this cookie header. One more is there, like preference equal to, but that is a different one. These three one are the important that the server actually sent to us when we visited youtube.com for the first time. Now let's look at how HTTP cookies actually work through a diagram. Now, as I told you, there are four components of HTTP cookies. So if you see here, this client is the browser itself, and this is the web server actually. And this is the one component of the HTTP cookie, that is cookie file. So this is actually the file on the browser side where all the cookies associated with the websites are stored. For example, these all like cookies are there, YSC equal to this, visitor information equal to this. These all will be stored in this cookie file here. Then you have backend database that is maintained on the server side. Now this is again used to store information about the user. Now how information is stored about the user? So if you see, like there are some way to identify the user here. Like this is S4SY. So this is some unique ID associated with the user itself. Let's say I have visited youtube.com. So they have assigned me some unique IDs like S4SY, then N5 NW and all, right? Consent also WP dot. So these three unique IDs are associated with me. So of course they will store all the information using these unique identifiers. They will store the information regarding me on the backend database. So they may record what was the last time when I visited, what all videos I have seen. Like they will store that on the backend database using all these whatever unique unique identifiers that they are setting it up using the cookie. Now let's see this example. These are two important components. And next one, we look at two more important components that are the headers that were there. See, now let's say I am the client. So I am on the browser, basically. I am the client. So I am making the request www.youtube.com, http://youtube.com. This is the GET request using HTTP 1.1 protocol. Now this request goes to the server. Now what server will do is, so I am visiting the youtube.com for the first time. So this is the first time I am visiting youtube.com from the browser. So what server will do, it will reply with, of course, the HTTP 1.1 200 OK. That means this request is successful. And it will also set up a header here, set cookie and some cookie name. Like here you would have seen this set cookie, and then there are many cookies associated with this. Like there are three here. I'm just taking one example here. Now, of course, there will be other headers also, and the content of like the HTML file will also be there. That will be rendered by the browser. That will also be there in this reply, but I have not attached that here because we want to focus on cookies here. And what server will also do is, it will also store this cookie in this backend database also, so that it can kind of track me or store information about me. So this cookie becomes basically kind of an identifier for me, and it will store all information using this cookie, whatever is there. And that's why this is the arrow sign is there. Like this arrow sign is there. That means the server will also store this cookie here in the backend database. Now, of course, I have got the reply. This browser will get the reply, and of course, it will see this header. The browser will see this header as set cookie is there. So what it will do is, whatever in set cookie, whatever key value pair is there, it will store all those key pairs in this cookie file, and it will associate these cookies, all these cookies, with the youtube.com domain. It will associate that with youtube.com domain. Now what happens, let's say after 1 day, 2 day, or let's say after 5 minutes, I am making another request to youtube.com again after 5 minutes. This is my second visit actually to youtube.com. Now this time what will happen, browser will first look into this cookie file, like is there any cookie associated with this youtube.com domain? Then of course there are, because I have visited first time, and of course there are 3 cookies actually stored in this cookie file. So it will take all those 3 cookies, and it will again create one more header in the request, that is cookie header, and it will also attach all those 3 cookies that were there with youtube.com. It will attach it here, and then it will send the request from here. Now once they send the request, server will again receive this request. So now the server will see that in the request there is this cookie header. Then it will detach the values that are associated with this header, then it will search that whatever, like it, of course, these values like S4, SY, and all of these unique identifiers, it will search these values in the backend database and see, and will see that what information is stored regarding this identifiers, in unique identifiers. So do remember that still I am not signed in this website youtube.com. Like still I am just watching as a guest here YouTube, on this website youtube.com. So what it will do is, it may remember all the videos that I have watched before, and let's say next time when I'm opening youtube.com again, it may recommend me all the videos from my past history. Like of course it is storing all the information regarding me, like on this database, and using this unique identifiers. So of course it knows that what videos I have visited in the past, or what videos I have watched in the past. So next time when I open youtube.com again, it may recommend the videos on the home page based on my previous history actually. So that's how cookies are that powerful. And you would have noticed this actually. So let's say even if you are not signed in and you are visiting youtube.com, let's say for the first time, and you watch some videos, let's say you come again to youtube.com a second time, you will see that all the recommendation on there are like based on your previous whatever like videos you have watched. So this is how actually cookies work. There are four important components that you should always remember, and how these four components interact with each other. Do also remember this. So there are some very important use cases of cookies. First one is session management, which is very important, and many websites do use cookies for session management. And here first one is like logging into website. Like how does Facebook know whether to show you login page or whether to show you the feed page in Facebook? So of course, if you are logged in, it will show you the feed page. But if you are not logged in, it will show you the login page, like login or sign up. That page it will show you. So how does it know, like okay, if you have logged in or not? So of course, it uses cookies. So when you are logging in for the first time in Facebook, it will of course send some cookies for the browser to set up or store in the cookie file. And that I mean every other time, if next time when you make again the request facebook.com, the browser will also send that cookie that is associated with your login. It will send that to the browser, sorry, to the server. So the server will know that okay, you are already logged in, so it will show you the feed page. Then next one is adding into cart without logging in. For example, take example Amazon.com. So even if you are a guest user there, even if you have not signed in Amazon.com, still if you add some items to the cart, and let's say you close the browser, when you visit the Amazon page again for the next time, you will still see those items in the cart, right? So how this magic happens? Again, this magic again happens with the help of cookies. Next use case is of personalization. As I told you, ads personalization is one of the use cases. Like let's say language and color also. Let's say sometimes if you see on the website, they will ask you like, okay, which color do you prefer here, or which language do you prefer? And they will remember that all these preferences using cookies itself. Like whenever browser sends the request again, it will also send those cookies, like your preferences in those cookie header, and that browser will again, sorry, the server will again send the response based on those cookies in the next request. Next one is tracking, like which is very controversial today actually, because many websites do use cookies for tracking purpose, and like they can track which pages I am visiting on their website. They can track how much time I am spending on their website. They can track like how many times I am visiting website in a day. Like every of this data they can track actually. So these are some of the important use cases of HTTP cookies. And now let me actually show you example, a demo in the browser itself. The same example I've shown you here, I will also show you in the browser itself. So let's go to this. So this is the kind of private browsing. So I have in a private window here in Firefox. And now what I will do is, so if you are not in a private window and if you already visited the youtube.com, let's say if you already visited youtube.com before, then those cookies would already have been set up actually. So we will not see similar kind of request and response. So let's do one thing. Inspect and click on network. Enter youtube.com. Let's say it's already here for the first time. Let's say we get 200. Okay. You see in the headers, if you see status 200. Okay, but our main focus is on response headers. You see in response headers, there are three cookies: set cookie, visitor info live, set cookie consent, set cookie YSC. So these three cookies, I mean basically the server is telling that okay, it is setting up these three cookies, and the browser will basically store all these three cookies in the cookie file, associated with the browser. And in the request, there is nothing, like there is no set cookie. Sorry, there is no cookie header in the, if you see in the request headers. But let's make the request again for second time. Refresh this again. I am making the request for second time. Now you will see one thing. In the request header, again they have set up some additional cookies also, GPS equal to 1, preference equal to something. They have set up more cookies again. But let's see the request header, which are very important. For the first time, when I made the request for the first time to youtube.com, it asked the browser to set 3 cookies. Now see in this, there should be a cookie header actually. See, this cookie header is there. And the browser has sent all those 3 cookies, YSC, visitor information live, consent, and it has additionally sent one more cookie, that is preference. That is the sent by the browser itself. So 3 cookies that the server sent for the first time, the browser is sending that. So that's all for this video. In the next video, I'm discussing about web caching. So I will discussing about how different headers of HTTP helps in web caching. In cookies also, I was mostly focused on how different headers actually helps in like how cookies actually works. How this header set cookie and cookie header. Like set cookie is actually header associated with a response, and cookie is the header associated with a request. Like how these headers actually help in working of cookies. And in the next video, we will see how some headers helps in the working of web caching, like which is very important part of web. So do keep watching all these videos. Thank you.